A little over 2 years had passed between Scream 2 and 3, and in that short period of time, society had undergone a change that began to be reflected in the horror genre. The events at Columbine forced the industry to evaluate how much violence was acceptable in movies and its impact on the audience.
You sick fucks, you've seen one too many movies.
Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Those tragic events forced the studio to abandon the script and start over. However, unbeknownst to those not on the inside, the dark underbelly of Hollywood would be revealed almost 2 decades prior to it being made public. In the end, Scream 3 was not only about the bastard son of Maureen Prescott, but it also became the bastard film of the franchise, polarizing Scream fans and leaving many of us unfulfilled with what should have been an epic conclusion to the trilogy.
I actually tracked her down, knocked at her door thinking she'd welcome me with open arms, but she had a new life and a new name, Maureen Prescott. You were the only child she claimed, Sidney. She shut me out in the cold forever. Her own son.
Here are 5 stories behind the making of Scream 3 that you may never have,
or probably,
heard of.
Number 5. The production of Scream 3 had to contend with growing popularity and demand for Kevin Williamson, who was attached to multiple projects and kept forcing Scream 3 to be delayed. Eventually, he would have to back out of the film, but not before writing a 30-page treatment for the final installment of the franchise, which had to be scrapped due to not wanting a plot that revolved around high schoolers plotting to kill people. In the original plot of Scream 3, we see Sidney return to Woodsboro, along with the dark cloud that has followed her most of her life. It wouldn't be long before local teens began being killed, which further ostracized Sidney from her hometown as being viewed as an angel of death. Ghostface would end up killing all of our main characters with the exception of Sidney. She was saved for last, and her final stand would take place where it all began, at Stu's house. Only when she confronted our new Ghostface, she would discover that it wasn't just 1 or 2 killers under the masks. Every teenager killed by Ghostface was still alive and were members of a cult, a film club dedicated to stab and the tragedies of Woodsboro, with one mastermind leading them from behind his prison cell, Stu Macher. Number 4.
With Kevin's lack of availability, the studio brought in screenwriter Erin Kruger to write an entirely new script, with the studio placing an enormous amount of pressure on him to get it done quickly. Kruger was not familiar with the franchise and had to read the prior scripts and watch the films in order to get up to speed on how he would write the next installment. His primary motivation at the time for taking on Scream 3 was the opportunity to work with Wes Craven. Kruger stated, "When you're doing a rewrite script, it's never totally coming from you. It's never the same as writing an original. So often, what you look for is, well, who am I going to be working with, and who am I going to be learning from? The answers to those questions give you a lot of motivation for pursuing a project like this." In his version of the script, not only did characters lose bits of their personalities, and we saw breaks in continuity, some of our characters had undergone transformations in who they were, forcing Craven to step in. Sidney had undergone the most changes. Her character became modeled after Sarah Connor from the Terminator 2 franchise, a mentally unstable woman who becomes an action hero.
Number 3. The frequent changes in the script led to alternate scenes, endings, and killers. An alternate opening can be found in bonus features on most editions of Scream 2. The alternate opening features 2 alternative death scenes for Cotton Weary. One where he nearly escapes through a skylight, and one where we clearly see that Christina has been murdered.
I'm running. I'm a block away.
No, Christine, stay away from the house.
she? She's outside.
Okay, I'm on the left. Open the door.
No! Christine! Christine!
Get the bat. It's in the front closet. Get the
Back,
bat.
back.
The film was also originally supposed to follow the formula of the previous two films, with there being two killers revealed. However, the studio wanted something different. Roman was intended to have an accomplice, his girlfriend Angelina Tyler, the fan who won a contest to play the role of Sidney Prescott in Stab 3. It would be revealed that not only was this staged, but that she was a former classmate of Sidney's in high school who idolized her, but Sidney never gave her the time of day. Not only did she feel scorned by this, Angelina also wanted the fame that Sidney had garnered over the years. Detectives Kincaid and Wallace were originally killed off prior to the ending, but after the script leaked with this detail, it was changed. The closing scene at Sidney's home also had an extended scene where we see Dewey, Gail, and Mark watching a second tape filmed by Randy. Randy would serve as the audience's voice to close out the franchise by saying, "Hey guys, so this tape is the guide to my movie collection. I know you think I'm the horror movie guy, but there's all kinds of other genres in life too, you know? So I wanted to share some more of my favorites. How about we start with a little comedy, huh? How about a little happy ending?" Number 2.
Scream 3 expanded its self-parody, with the new story being about the making of Stab 3. For starters, the tagline for Stab 3 is "The Return to Woodsboro," which was supposed to happen in Scream 3. Then, with its characters, first by creating a character parodied after Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sarah Darling, the Sarah character expresses her frustration with Roman about being the chick who dies in the second death scene in Stab 3.
I'm Candy, the chick who gets killed second. I'm only in 2 scenes.
You're not happy with your part.
Just like Sarah Michelle Gellar's character Cece did in Scream 2. She then talks about how poorly her character was written.
I'm not happy that I have to die naked. And I'm not happy that my character is too stupid to have a gun in the house after her boyfriend's been cut into fish sticks.
Sarah also complains about the constant changes to the script.
It's not the line.
It is in my script.
Has there been another goddamn rewrite? How the fuck are we supposed to learn our lines when there's a new script every 15 minutes?
Stab 3 also addresses fans' discontent with Randy's death by adding the character Ricky to Stab 3, who states,
"I am not a Randy substitute. I'm my own character."
Named Ricky, who works at the video store.
It's an homage.
We also hear Roman later complain about having to direct a horror movie before getting the chance to direct a love story. Wes Craven's next film was a love story after Scream 3, The Music of the Heart. The parallels with reality do not end with the characters.
Number 1. Little did we know at the time of its release, Scream 3 would become a reflection of the realities that were occurring in Hollywood, and most notably within the Weinstein Company.
But first, we have some breaking news to report. A Los Angeles jury has found the former movie producer, Harvey Weinstein, guilty in his rape and sexual assault trial.
We learned that Sidney's mother, Maureen Prescott, had led another life when she was younger. She was an aspiring actress who was sexually assaulted after not wanting to play by the rules of Hollywood in building her career.
Nothing happened to her that she didn't invite in one way or another, no matter what she said afterwards.
Are you saying
I'm saying things got out of hand. Maybe they did take advantage of her. You know, maybe the sad truth is, this is not the city for innocents.
This is not the only mention either, just the most blatant. During the film, we meet a Studio Sunrise employee, Bianca Burnett, who is mistaken for Carrie Fisher by Gail and Jennifer Jolie. Bianca is a bitter Sunrise studio employee who explains how Carrie Fisher beat her for the part of Princess Leia.
I was up for Princess Leia. I was this close. So who gets it? The one who sleeps with George Lucas.
Jennifer Jolie also references that she slept with Roman.
What's down there?
Zombies and aliens.
You know what you look like without makeup, Jennifer.
Jesus, stop pretending I wasn't the best you've ever had.
Towards the end, we hear Angelina Tyler yell out,
I did not fuck that pig Milton to get a leading role just to die here with second-rate celebrities like you two!
Finally, Roman's character, who is not angry at the people responsible for raping his mother, but is instead focused on punishing and shaming her and Sidney, something we often see play out in society today when a victim comes forward.
So, Scream 3, giant clusterfuck of a movie that was going one direction. Understandably, they had to change direction because of what happened, because people like to find inspiration in weird things.
But I mean, to hire this guy who doesn't even know the franchise, like doesn't know the movies, had to read 1 and 2 script and watch the movies because he wasn't familiar with them at all. And by the way, can I say, he is just a disgrace to his last name.
Yeah, right.
His last name is Kruger. He's working with Craven. Come on. And you don't even know the movies, and then you totally fuck it up when you actually get the chance to do it.
I would like to be in these job interviews, even today with the comic book movies, where they hire a director and it's like, oh, so you know of this character? No, you don't? All right, here is my franchise that's making millions of dollars. Go ahead and do something with it. I'm going to give you a chance.
That would be like giving me the comic book franchise, because I only know these characters from watching the movies with my family. I mean, yeah, I knew who they were before the movies, but I don't know their backstory. I mean, when these characters are like dying on film, I'm devastated. He's over here like, well, I already knew that was gonna happen. That would be like giving me the, here you go, just write it.
You don't, I'm sorry, you want to give somebody new and upcoming maybe a shot at something, but my God, they gotta have a love for what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think if you want to give them a shot, maybe do it with the first movie, not the third.
Mm-hmm.
Not the third. You don't do that.
Now, the things that occurred in this story that were left out, we're going to talk about it soon in other videos, but they start to pop up in other films. So I like that they didn't totally abandon the things and the ideas that they had for this one. For one, video that we're gonna release, or it may be released by the time you see this, is Angelina winning the contest. Well, she didn't kind of win the contest. She did a little something, but we're not going to talk about that on this video.
Well, she seems shady, so
you have to go and check out that video to see what she did to get that part. So, what facts did we leave out that you would include on this list? Let us know by dropping that in the comments. And don't forget, it is the quest for 5,000 subscribers, and you can help us get there by dropping
a like, subscribing, and sharing.
Yes, for every video that has 25 comments and 25 likes, you will win a prize, and then we will keep doing it at every 25 until we hit 100 comments and 100 likes, and then we'll send out something special.
We have lots of prizes.
Yes, we do. And once we hit 5,000 subscribers, if you've dropped a like and if you've dropped a comment on any of the previous videos, you'll have a chance to win this box of Strawberries and Scream cereal signed by
Matthew Lillard and David Arquette.
And we got the pictures to prove it.
I do. I have the pictures of them signing it.
Mm-hmm. So, until the next Pop 5. See ya.
See ya.